If you want your specific person chasing you and texting you constantly, this is going to be the easiest way to do this. And the funny thing is, if you are celebrating Halloween, it's something that you are going to be doing all day today. And it's doing what A Course in Miracles would call living the happy dream. So basically, what we're going to be doing is constantly reinterpreting everything to match the exact outcome that you desire. And no, we're not pretending as if it's different. It's actually seeing it in your reality how you want to see it. And the wild thing is, Neville Goddard actually talks about this as his idea of pure eyes. So when you are in the state of something, you're always going to be perceiving and seeing it in your reality in the way that your assumptions are already matching. So no, again, you're not pretending as if it's pure. You're not pretending as if it's positive. You're not pretending as if your specific person loves you and wants to be with you. You are actually seeing your reality in that way, and thus it will continuously reflect in that way in whatever assumption you are reinterpreting it as. But I'll give you an example of this. So I want you to imagine you're at the airport, you're about to fly back home, meet up with your family for dinner or whatever. But then the flight is delayed. Now, in this moment, you have the option to choose fear or love. And in that moment, because normally, what's our normal response going to be in this situation? It's going to be frustration. It's going to be annoyance. It's going to be anger. It's going to be all of these negative emotions because we're assuming that this delayed flight is impacting us and messing up our state. But in that moment, just what in A Course in Miracles, it would describe as the happy dream, you can live that dream. Or basically, you can live the reality that you want, and your assumptions will match that. So in that moment, you could actually assume this delay as something that lets you listen more to an audiobook or read a book more. You can call your family, call a friend, right? It's time to just relax and sit still. Maybe even a time to meditate. And in that moment, you actually keep your nervous system in alignment with the state that you want, and thus you never actually leave this state. And according to the law of assumption, by doing this, you'll actually find the delay cease to exist or be much shorter as a result of this. And as you practice this more, you'll find that in your reality, negative things no longer show up because it's impossible for something negative to show up when you are in that state. So take a moment and reinterpret everything in the exact way that you want. So I know I've used this example before, but imagine your specific person takes a long time to text you. In that case, it's not that our first assumption is going to be they don't want to talk to us or they're ignoring us or something negative, right? But that is not living the happy dream. That is not choosing the reality and the state that you want. That is actually feeling like a victim, like there is something else attacking us or pushing against us or making us feel a certain type of way. But you are always in control of your state and you're always manifesting what you're assuming. So instead, why can't your specific person be so nervous and so attracted to you that they're actually trying to figure out the best text message to send you? Maybe they are just so attracted to you that they just don't want to mess it up. And that new assumption is a reinterpretation and keeps our nervous system in the state that we want. Thus, we begin to manifest more of whatever it is that we are assuming is our reality in the moment. So as you begin to assume that, right, you start to create it. Because signs always follow, they never precede. Meaning, you can't think your reality is negative. You can't think of your specific person as ignoring you and expect it to change because you're just going to manifest and create more of that. But instead, as you shift your mind, as you reinterpret, not pretending, but seeing your reality for what it is, that your specific person is so attracted to you that you make them nervous. They're so attracted to you that they're trying to be perfect for you. They want to show up in the exact way that you want. And now I mentioned earlier that you are doing this a lot today if you're celebrating Halloween. And think about it for a moment. What is Halloween? What what is all around us all the time? And you'd say skeletons, ghosts, basically death and dead people, right? But we don't perceive that as negative. We perceive it as something really positive and fun, right? Kids are going out and collecting candy and laughing and jumping around, and everyone's dressing up as like evil characters. I mean, not always evil, but still we're dressing up and we're acting, but all around us are these potentially, people would describe them as inherently negative, but they're not. How today is it that you are perceiving all of these negative things as positive and fun and exciting when inherently in every other situation you would describe them as negative? In no other situation would you run into a skeleton and think, wow, that's really fun and exciting and awesome, right? But just on Halloween. And so that is proof that you are interpreting your reality however you want, and you can change anything to be positive, and thus the negative things are no longer negative, but are perfectly positive in your awareness. You can choose to do this at any point in time, just as you are choosing to do it today. And if maybe you're watching this video not on Halloween, that's still okay, because still the example and the metaphor matches perfectly. You are the interpreter of your reality, and as you interpret it in the way you want, you can live the absolute most perfect and flawless life and manifest absolutely flawlessly and quickly and have your specific person chasing after you, as long as you start to interpret it in that way. But I really want to stress, it's the idea not that we're pretending. We are never pretending it's going to be that way. We are actually perceiving it. You don't pretend Halloween is good. You actually have fun on Halloween. Nothing about it before this point had you thinking that it was negative, or maybe you did sometimes, but still, it's the idea that you can turn something as wild, as intense as skeletons and ghosts and ghouls and goblins into something positive just because you wanted to. So if you have that power, why can't you reinterpret everything happening with your specific person as something positive as well? And a really good example of this is this individual who talks about their specific person, who before had very limited communication, and now their specific person is messaging them, calling them, basically pursuing them all over again. And when I started talking to this individual, they had those initial thoughts. They were assuming their reality was not so positive. They were wondering, how do I change my specific person? How do I make them text me? How do I make them call me? But essentially, it's not about trying to change something that we feel is negative. It's the assumption of knowing that it's all within the interpretation. And as they start to remember, it's not what they are changing their reality to make happen, it's who they are. Then they started focus on being the individual that already has it and understanding it's all within living that happy dream, as again, A Course in Miracles would call it, or pure eyes, as Neville Goddard would call it, of how you are seeing and interpreting and assuming your reality to be. It's going to show up in that way. And so as you assume your specific person to be someone who chases after you, as you see every action they take and every word that they say as an action and word that matches someone who is chasing after you, you start to manifest and create more of that, because you then become the individual that is chased after. Your entire reality, it's not a pretending, your entire reality will factually be something that is showing you how much your specific person chases you, how much your specific person cares about you. And one really simple way to do this, and I always like telling people this because it creates so much success, is to actively seek out those successes. If there's a specific characteristic you want in your specific person, find 3 reasons right now as to how they are that individual. So if you want them chasing after you, find 3 excuses and reasons and ways today at this moment in which they are chasing after you. And again, you always find what you are seeking. There's that Bible quote, seek and you shall find. And so as you seek these out, you are absolutely going to find it. And don't worry if in this moment you're thinking, yeah, but I don't think it's there. They're not acting in this way. They're showing up to me in the opposite. That's just a lack of imagination and a lack of your assumption. So don't worry. Your reality, you could never be at a distance from what you want. So keep that in mind. mind. Remember that. And you're going to assume and create exactly what you're seeing because, again, you're not pretending. You are actually reinterpreting everything in your reality. So comment that down below. Comment what characteristic and what you are going to look for today and find in your specific person. Are you going to live the happy dream and see through pure eyes? Not that you're pretending, but that you're actually seeing your reality the way you want. Are you going to treat it in the same way you treat Halloween, which you see everything as being extremely positive, happy, and fun and abundant? You're probably going to go out later with your friends and have a party and have fun, right? How are we doing this with all this negative stuff happening around us? Everyone's dressed as these villains, or I mean, people dressed as heroes too, but I think you know what I mean. How are we able to keep that positive state while everything is technically showing us the opposite? And the answer is because you are the interpreter, you are the creator, and you make your assumptions on your reality. If you did have any questions on this, make sure to comment them down below. Any thoughts, any successes that you have with your specific person, I absolutely love cheering you on, so let me know down below as well. If you did want to reach out to me, but you didn't want to comment your question or something publicly, make sure to reach out to me at kyleaugustcoaching.com. And happy manifesting, and if you are celebrating Halloween, have a fun time, be safe, and keep that in mind the entire day, that you are interpreting everything as being positive. So why can't you do the same thing with your specific person? People will probably even go to haunted houses and get terrified to death and laugh about it. Think about that. Think about how funny it is that your mind can absolutely change everything in your reality to match your specific assumption. And so if you can do it there, you can do it with your specific person. Take time and actually do that. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming a member. Again, be safe today, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.